Hey guys, surprise, surprise, I'm on Facebook Live. I know I don't come on here often enough, but here I am, and I'm just coming off of a really great conversation. And that's what sparked this particular live. It's also been sparked by a new inspiration that has come to me as a result of a lot of work I've been doing. And I wanted to share it with you. So I just got off of being interviewed for Millennial Spirit. And if you haven't seen it on my timeline, go check it out. You can register to see the interview that I just did with Christina Melino, if you were saying it in proper Italian. Anyways, I just was interviewed by her. It was a great interview. We talked before and we talked during the interview. And then we talked after, and it just felt really great. She's definitely a soul sister. We're sharing a lot of our own experiences, and I was hearing about her experience, which is extraordinary and amazing, I have to say. I'm not going to give any of it away because I am going to have Christina on my podcast, and I want her to share her amazing story of resiliency and claiming her magical self. And that's the topic of this particular broadcast, is claiming your magical self. It's taken me a long time to claim my magical self. What does that actually mean? Well, for some of you that have been following me, you've noticed a couple posts lately about business magic and do you have an inner witch? And I'm working a lot with this archetype of the witch. She's gotten a bad rap, right? She's gotten a really bad rap in our society. And of course, like every archetype, and if you're not familiar with archetypes, you can check out Carl Jung. He's one of the first people, if not the first person, who brought out this idea of archetypes. An archetype is an aspect of self that you can work with and almost look at as a piece that's seemingly outside of yourself until you can work with it and integrate it and actually bring it into yourself. And this archetype of the witch is particularly important for women, and I think particularly important in this day and age. So not only did I have a great conversation with Christina about this, but I was really inspired to come on Facebook Live and get your opinion on this archetype of the witch. Do you identify with it? Do you feel that you have an inner witch? Do you maybe look at the dark side of the witch and think, I don't want any of that? Has, religion layered on top of that for you, or other spiritual beliefs or principles that has made it like a no-no? Do you live in the whole spiritual bypassing of like it's all an illusion and that doesn't exist, right? Because there's both sides to everything, and there's a dark side to the witch and there's a light side. And both are valuable. Both have merit and both will serve you. So we're in this age of feminine empowerment, but I think the important question is, from what stance do we wish to take our power? And think about that. Do we want to take the stance from toxic anger, or do we want to take a stand from righteous anger? Do we want to take a stand from, being victimized, or do we want to actually take a powerful stand for ourselves? What I've been experimenting with is bringing in my healer, holistic practitioner, alternative medicine gifts, knowledge, and all of that spiritual, for lack of a better word, evolution and diving in that I've done throughout almost my whole life, or well over 20 years now, and bringing that into what I do now and what I offer now. So for me, this has also been a journey. I've been on a journey of claiming my inner witch, right? I've been on a journey of claiming her because she was kind of this little thing I put on a shelf, and I thought, well, you're cute and I'll just put you over here. And, I can kind of say that I identify with you, but you're just here, you're just a character in a movie. And what I've really gotten this year is that it's time for us to claim her, and it's time for us to claim her in a big way. So I want to hear from you. And I see Rachel's here and Steve's here and Aisha's here. Hi guys, thanks for joining. For those of you that are watching live right now, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what is this archetype of the witch for you? What does it mean for you? Especially if you're a woman watching, what does it mean for you? And for those of you that are catching this on the replay, join the conversation, because this is really pivotal right now in our time. It's really pivotal that we claim her not as this other separate thing, but as us. So one of the things that, you know, I dipped into in this conversation with Christina just now was this idea of how this rejection of her has been layered throughout our time. And any of you can just open up a book or Google or do some research and find out how not men, this isn't a man-hating thing, but the patriarchal system, which many women historically also took on, right? This isn't just we're going to blame men and hate men here. We love men. We love you. That's not what this is about. This is about how our power and that shutdown of our power has been so entrenched in us that we often don't even notice when it's happening. We don't speak up when it's happening. You know, we all see this Me Too movement right now. You know, I'm hearing all kinds of different points of views around that. This is happening because people are pissed, right? Like, enough is enough. And to me, from my magical self, what that is, it's a call to claim something greater within yourself. It's a call to not just keep her on the shelf anymore, to not keep that part of you that is magical, that is connected to spirit, that is connected to cycles, to your body, that is connected in that way, to stop keeping her on the shelf. Ladies, for those of you listening that are running a business, or that you're in corporate and you're running a career and you're highly motivated and ambition, I see you. I see you, and I've experienced you, and I am you. And I'm here to tell you that if you keep putting her on the shelf, you will keep experiencing a bit of spinning your wheels. You'll keep experiencing not feeling fully authentic and connected to who you are. For those of you that are entrepreneurs, maybe you're just, you know, burning the midnight oil. Even those of you that are in corporate or executive positions that are killing it in your career, maybe you're starting to feel the effects of burnout. For as long as we ignore this magical, intuitive, beautiful side of ourselves, we are going to ignore the very thing that could heal us, the very thing that could lead us to fulfillment, the very thing that could lead us to making more money, the very thing that could lead us to have a fulfilling life and career and relationship. And because this has been such a big thing for me recently, especially in the last year, is to claim her, take her off the shelf, embody her, be her, I want to bring this into you now. So I'm opening up this conversation because I really want to know what you think. And so let me just see here. Aisha's saying, off the top of my head, when I think of witch, I think dark magic, which doesn't seem to jive with love and light that I'm incorporating into my life. Thank you so much for sharing that, Aisha, because a lot of people think that. They look at the dark side of the witch. Like, think about the fairy tales, right? Like, I call the fairy tales of old sort of the like old school folkloric after school special, right? They were the things that came out to keep kids in line, right? Don't go into the woods with your sister because there's a witch that lives in the woods and she eats kids. You know, there's a hairy wart on your nose. And I thank you for bringing that forward, Aisha, because that is the outlook or the definition. It's definitely what religion has brought into the sphere. It's definitely what fear has brought into this magical self and the witch archetype. And it's looking at her darkness. And because I love shadow work and because it's not all bad, there is good in the shadow, right? There is a real healing and an integration that happens when we can embrace the shadow side of the witch, because she does have a dark side, right? She does have a dark side. Best movie ever to show this example is The Wizard of Oz, right? You have your dark witch, you have your light witch, and then you have the witch that doesn't even know she's a witch at all, that doesn't even know that she's always had the power, and that's Dorothy. So I thank you for bringing that forward, because the incorporation of her light, you can't incorporate the light without incorporating the dark. You can't, of any shadow aspect, right? It could be a witch archetype. It could be, you know, another different archetype that you're working with. You cannot fully integrate her and have her live in you in a powerful way unless you've integrated both the light and the dark. So I thank you really for bringing that forward, Aisha. So this is the conversation I wanted to start. The program that I was inspired and given, I believe, to run is all based around this. It's for entrepreneurial, ambitious, motivated women who are ready to embrace her, to learn about her dark and her light side, to heal her, right? This is an entity of an energy inside of us that has been very wounded for many reasons. And I could probably be on here for hours and hours talking about how she's been wounded. And it's time for her to heal. It's time for her to heal because it's time for you to prosper and grow. And it's time for you to actually step into true power. I had one woman who applied for the program, and she might be watching on the replay. She's not here live. But I had one woman apply for the program who said, you know, I've done all the feminine stuff. Like, I'm good with my feminine. I need to incorporate more of my masculine. Are you going to help me with that? And I said, well, sure. Tell me what the masculine is to you. And she gave me a couple of words. I'm going to ad lib at this point because I don't remember what they were. But basically the words and the description she gave about wanting to step more into her masculine, they were all feminine traits. They were all traits of a powerful feminine goddess and a feminine woman who is in her full power. And I thought it was so interesting because she was under the misconception that those were masculine traits. There's a lot of masculine traits that we need. This is not gender specific. It's not even sexual orientation specific. We are a yin and yang of mixed energies, and some of us gravitate more towards one than the other. And we can't leave anything out. And especially for those of you listening that this is resonating with, you can't leave that out of your business anymore. You just cannot afford to do it. You also can't afford to do it at a soul level, because somewhere inside of you, you are yearning to connect with that deeper place where you are bringing your full self to your service. So this is an invitation to you, not only to start this discussion, but to start asking yourself the questions about what's going on with your inner witch or magical self, or that place in you that you're not fully paying attention to your intuition. You're not fully integrated in that part of you. I had a teacher just last year give me shit, and if you're watching, I love you, thank you. Because I was dabbling for a long time. I was dabbling in this for a long time. And something clicked with me very recently. And that's what this inspiration has brought me to. Like the 20 plus years of whatever work, training, studies in this, they all meant nothing until I was ready to take her on. And it feels so good. So I wanted to pose this question to you, and I wanted to invite you to examine this for your own life. And again, if you're watching on the replay, join in the conversation. I want to hear from you. Let me just check here. I have another comment here. Thanks for the reminder that we are both light and dark, and they both needed to be incorporated. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Aisha. So just a little public service announcement for you, and not just an actual fully embraced invitation to you to examine what this means for you. Maybe it means nothing. Maybe you're just like, whatever, Giovanna, she's, talking woo-woo. That's fine. No problem. But maybe for you, this is actually ringing a bell. Maybe for you, you're like, shit, this has always been like a fascination for me. This has always been kind of like, oh, that's cool. But you've never really embraced it. You've never really said, well, how could I actually learn these tools? How could I learn the skill of healing her, of bringing her on, of bringing her into my business and into my life and into my relationships? As a woman, hear me, as a woman, you are a mystical, magical being. When is she going to wake up and join you in all aspects of your world, of your life, of your business? I want to see her come out. I want to see her in all her glory, and I want to celebrate with you when she comes out, because I am celebrating right now with the experiences that I've had, in particular over the last year, but just throughout my life, and seeing how where she's shown up and where I've torn her down, and where she's been like tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping, and I've just been like, nah, I'm going to ignore you. So that's my invitation for you. Please join the conversation. If you want to find out more about healing her, embracing her, and bringing her into fullness, especially and in particular in your business or career, then I invite you to click on the link that's in this description for this video chat, and click on it. And if you want to speak to me, there's a little link at the end of that that'll tell you about how to book an appointment with me. And we can talk a little bit more. And maybe it's not for you, but maybe in that conversation, there's still a way that I can serve you really powerfully to find out where the gaps are that you need to close, where you need to embrace her more. And maybe that's it. But I want to extend this invitation to you. So I'm opening this up for the next month. I've cleared and created a lot of space to have these conversations. I'm inviting you to that conversation if this appeals to you. And again, click on that link, read all about it, scroll down, and you'll see a link where you can click and have a conversation. And let's see where you can embrace more of your magical self and where you can love and heal and bring on board more of that witchy, powerful energy that you innately have in you. Love you. Bye.